Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Tonight's film is 1986's Sex Appeal. 1986's Sex Appeal. This is the VHS copy. This is the back of the VHS. And you saw the sides put out by Vestron Video. There's a little R-rated sticker on the front there. And the tagline on the front of this movie states, "If you don't have any, you can't get any." This is 1986's Sex Appeal, and as far as I know, folks, it's never been released on DVD. This is the VHS copy of it from Vestron Video right there. This is directed by Chuck Vincent, who did a few films. Seemingly looking like in the sex comedy, sexploitation genres. This was his first film, it looks like, and this is 1986. This is really something interesting when it comes to sex comedies and sexploitation. Let's get into this movie because it's an awesome one. Essentially what we have here is we have a film that is your sex comedy, 80s sex comedy, sexploitation film, where you have the lead character being a kind of sex repressed, a younger man who is yearning to get girls. Okay, and so that's essentially the core of this film. So you have sexploitation films and sex comedies where the core of the film are girls, or the core of the film are a group of guys. In this film, you have this sexually repressed one guy in the film, and how he goes about trying to become free and to have that sex appeal. This film is really unique in the fact that I don't have many 80s sex comedies or sexploitation films in general that are 100% New York. That means that all of the actors and actresses in this film have very heavy New York accents, that some of the music in the film almost has kind of a Frank Sinatra, New Yorky type of vibe, okay? But we are also getting music that is like 80s synthesized. At times it could have almost been in William Lustig's Maniac, okay? Sometimes it seems dark, the synth, but and then you have that Frank Sinatra type New York, kind of take charge, night of the town type of vibe there, even older type of vibe at times with that Sinatra-like music. This is totally New York, and I believe there are sections in this film that are in 42nd Street. Supposedly they're even name-dropping Manhattan in this film, and I believe it actually looks like it was actually filmed in those sections. This is a totally New York sexploitation 80s sex comedy. How many of those do you know? I mean, typically these films are in either Miami or California. I mean, that's typically what you're getting. You're getting that heat, that sweat, the pool, the beach, the bikini shop. Okay, that's what you're getting typically. Is California, Miami. This is a film that name drops Jersey and also New York. Okay, so it's really, really interesting. This is a city film. This is a New York City film. I mean, you're not seeing any snow or anything. I mean, it's not like that, but it looks like it could be, you don't know. It could be fall. It could be maybe spring. Okay, so here is Sex Appeal, folks. First and foremost, I mentioned the music to you. In terms of the actual style of the film, the film has a lot of very unique style. It almost reminded me of some of the really quirky vibes of certain 80s sex comedies. Not quirky, I want to say eccentric. Some sex comedies and sexploitation films, I mean, this genre is rich. It's full. It breaks boundaries of genre, actually, and a lot of people aren't aware of that, but you and I are. And this is a film that really has a lot of style, a lot of eccentric pieces to it, involving a book that talks to the lead character almost telekinetically, through a voiceover, involving this is a film of characters, so we have we have a film of very quirky characters, yet realistic characters and dialogue that's realistic. This is not a campy type of film, not a overblown, kind of, campy, quirky sex comedy. No. But you have a style in here that is really kind of pushing the boundaries. You have some pretty, just some great comedy in here involving the lead character and his sexual, inadequacies, and also the sexual adventures that he experiences are quite funny and interesting and bizarre. And we have a lot of interesting quick cuts in the film. Not only a talking book, but also fantasies that you and I are seeing from the lead character, and the way that it's done is actually quite entertaining. This is a film that is about 81 minutes long, and it's filled with characters. Filled to the brim with characters, from the lead's parents, and there's a lot going on there, to the lead's sister. Great relationship with his sister. The sister is attractive. She's one of the, I would say, in the tops for attractive girls in the film, his sister. And then you have this wide variety of women that he meets along the way. Even the sister's boyfriend, even, I don't want to give away too much more. The parents' friends, things like that. But it's the women that he meets and the different situations that he encounters that even bring more style to this film and more eccentric, bizarre vibes to the film. Because each woman that he meets, or women that he meets, bring some adventure and eroticism and comedy to the film. With a film called Sex Appeal, the thing that's really interesting about this film is that when you first start watching the film, you're going to think that, okay, the film is going to be a sex comedy, but it's not really going to be a sexploitation film necessarily, and it's not going to go too far sexually. I mean, it's an R-rated 1986 sex comedy. It's not a porno, okay? It's not unrated, a sexploitation film from Europe. So the film's really going to shock you, though, because it actually, I mean, we have tons of topless nudity in the film, all different sizes, actually, from A cups to possibly D, or definitely, C plus. Anyway, but we're also getting thongs, we're getting just some pretty explicit sexual situations as well. S&M, we're getting what are some of the most insane orgasms I've ever heard, and mixing that with some very bizarre, eccentric types of vibes in the film. We're also, you can sense that Chuck Vincent, who made this film, really had a core with sexploitation as it's name dropped within the film, and as we have kind of an adult magazine writer who's writing these sexual exploits and adventures in the film. And you can sense also there's even a clip of a Ron Jeremy porno in this film. And there's a porn collection in the film. And how women love it. And how the lead realizes that's part of his sex appeal. So there's definitely a core in this film too, where you could sense that Chuck Vincent, who made this film, definitely had a love for sexploitation, a love for adult films, adult cinema, porn. And so there's that vibe throughout this film as well. But the actual sexual exploits that he has in his freaking awesome apartment, awesome 80s lush bachelor pad, lights, and the sickest stereo I've ever seen. Sickest 80s stereo. But the sexual exploits are actually quite explicit. And you're really getting a lot of their bodies, you're getting a lot of their panties, bras, thongs, but definitely topless nudity. In particular, this one well-endowed woman who is the orgasm woman. Some hilarious sucker punch scenes going on in this film, and yes, you are definitely going to get eroticism, and you are also going to get hilarity in there, but you're also going to get a lot of sexuality in this film, and I would say this is not just some topless film. I mean, it's going to shock you. There is a lot of erotic, kind of
yes, nudity, but also just sexuality in the film. And it can feel even a little bit explicit at times, and it works awesome, and it's great. It's all great. I was actually shocked at how sexual the film was, you know, because from the start you weren't exactly sure, but then it goes there. It definitely goes there, and it's wild, and it's adventurous, and it's a party, and it's funny, and the characters in the film, and the twist at the end of the film, and just his apartment and his sense of freedom and moving on, and his adventures in bars and picking up women and the whole shebang. Folks, this is 1986's Sex Appeal. Here it is, folks. And the women in the film are attractive. And they're all interesting characters, even this one who involves food and orgasms. And they're interesting characters, and they're attractive as well. And even, I would say, older than what you would expect in typical 80s sex comedies as well, the women. But they're all attractive, they all have great sex appeal, no pun intended. And sexually attractive, and so forth. So this is put out by Vestron Video. You can find this used on eBay or Amazon, but it's actually quite rare, and it's not going to be cheap. I picked this up for about $23, and obviously it's used, and it's in great condition here. Here it is, folks. Tony's looking to get some hands-on experience, it says. There's the back picture right there. 1986's Sex Appeal. I love Tony. I love the lead character. He's so great. And of course, this film is riding on him, no pun intended. And of course, he's awesome. You'll love him. He's 80s, but he also transcends time as well at the same point. He's got a great face, great acting across the board in this film as well. 1986's Sex Appeal. Thank you so much for watching the Tyrone Bizarre YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Please feel free to check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. Thank you, and good night.